family. Hey, family. Hey, family. It is your girl, Mrs. Michelle Allen Franklin. Yes, Mrs. Michelle D.I. Why? For divine intervention, honey, because you know there are no coincidences in this world. Only God's divine intervention in our lives. And Mrs. Community Builder, why? Because you know your girl is going to give you the good information, boo. The things you need for your mind, your body, your spirit, and your emotions. And y'all know it is March, honey. It is Women's History Month. And all month long, I have been talking to amazing, phenomenal women that have inspired and empowered me on a day-to-day basis, honey. And today is no exception. Today I have in the building, I'm trying to be like Miss Pat when I grow up, honey. Miss Patricia Branham is in the building with you, girl. I'm so excited. Miss Pat.
Hello, everybody. Hello, family.
Look, how you doing, Miss Pat? How you doing?
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much for having me on tonight.
Thank you. It is such an honor and a privilege. I'm telling you, I have been watching and admiring all the things that you do from the sideline. You are just a force to be working with. We're going to get into it.
Let's get into it, girl. Let's get into
We're
it.
going to get into it. Miss Pat is a member of Black Nurses Rock, honey. She was at one of our meetings the first time that I saw her. And this was really fairly early on. And just the way that she brought the information, you know, your girl is a nurse educator too. And so I'm always admiring and looking at how other people present things and everything. And then she's so stylish and poised, honey. And I said, oh, I'm trying to be like Miss Pat when I grow up. Miss Pat, we're going to jump into your nursing journey. We're just going to jump right on into it.
Thank you again so much for having me. So, Pat Brenham, I've been a nurse for almost 30 years, not quite, but very short of 30 years, longer than 25 and not quite 30, somewhere between 28, 29 years nursing.
Wow.
And of those 30 years, I've been an oncology nurse for 20 of the years. So I would like to say happy Oncology Certified Nurses Day today. Today is Certified Nurses Day all over the world. So all of you nurses that have a certification behind your name, congratulations to you, sis, and keep on gaining knowledge. So that's first and foremost. But I started my nursing journey, again, like I said, some 30 years ago. I started out working at East Texas Medical Center. It was medical center at that time in Tyler, Texas. And I worked in the cafeteria as what they called back then. They don't have this anymore, not a candy striper, but a TV hostess or a hostess, where we would take the food to the patients in their rooms and just kind of visit with them, kind of like a concierge food delivery person. You know, my personality, talking to somebody. So I was probably 18 or 19 when I started doing that. And so I did that for a couple of years, and I saw the nurses and how they carried themselves and the knowledge. And I thought, I want to do more. So then I moved to the surgical department. And I was a surgical transporter for a number of years, taking patients back and forth to the operating room and things of that nature. And then there was a CRNA that recognized something. She said, you know, you're going to make a great nurse one day. So that's where the thrust and the just wanting to know more started for me. But it wasn't until my father was diagnosed with prostate cancer that my real nursing journey began. So I started to get just a little taste and dibbles of nursing then. But once he was diagnosed with cancer, I thought, this is something I really want to think about. And so that started my journey with nursing, as well as being an oncology nurse. So he was 59, my dad, when he was diagnosed with prostate cancer. So cancer care is one of the passions of mine. And he lost his journey. He lost his battle just 3 months later. We gave him all of the information. He opted not to take any treatments. He was stage 4 prostate cancer when they found it. And so that was his decision. And so we supported that, whether we liked it or not. We supported what he wanted to do. Yes. And so and then my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer 11 and a half years ago. She's 80 years old today, and she is alive and well. So cancer is very near and dear to my heart. I love everything about it, educating our people about it, a vulnerable population, about early detection, about
Yes.
genetic testing, about
Yeah.
all of those things that can extend our lives if we should ever get the cancer diagnosis. So that's my why of what I do in the cancer realm.
Wow, Miss Pat, that is, I've heard your story before. I knew about your dad,
Hmm.
and it is one of those things that I'm also very passionate about is our men. They wait so long, and then it's hard when it's so far gone, like that
Absolutely.
stage four. And so
Absolutely.
for something that you feel like you could be prevented or, early detected, um, it's these conversations. And so the work that you're doing is just so inspiring and just empowering for our community, not only to me, it's just necessary work, like you said, for our community, because there's just a lack of knowledge is what I recognize. And men are afraid, to go to the doctor. There's just distrust out there. And so,
And
oh,
rightfully so. And rightfully so.
I'm about
Just
to say,
just history has taught us that.
history,
So
yes, Tuskegee and all of the
mhm.
things. And so, how do y'all combat that at the cancer center?
That's a great question because it's very difficult every day to try to break those barriers down, to
Mhm.
unlearn things that you already know, such
Yeah.
as you already mentioned Tuskegee,
Mhm.
excuse me, Tuskegee, and then we have Henrietta Lacks, the
Yes,
Gila
and
Sale, we have her,
yeah.
and there are so many. Fannie Lou Hamer was
Yes.
also, someone who taught us about mistrust of the system and the white man and their medicine. You
Mm,
know, so many people. So it is very hard to talk to our people and to break those barriers down, to let them know, you know what, it's okay to be in
yeah,
a clinical trial. It's
yeah,
okay to do genetic testing. Things are so different from back then. And
right.
we don't discredit how they feel.
Yeah,
We realize that this is something that's fearful for you. You don't want to be an experiment. You don't want to be, this guinea pig and things of that nature. So we've learned to frame the conversation around, rather than saying a clinical trial. It's, because it's like, oh, you're doing some trial on me. Are you trying
true,
something? It's a
true.
clinical practice,
Yeah,
because I always tell them that medicine is a practice. We call it medical practice because what works on you may not work on you. So
yeah,
that's exactly what it is. And
yeah.
everything that we ingest, an aspirin,
Mhm.
Tylenol, it all goes through a clinical trial phase before it ever comes to market. So when I start telling them like that, it's like, oh, I didn't even think about that. Every
Yes,
blood pressure pill, every pill you get for diabetes, all had to go through a rigorous trial period. So
yeah,
there's nothing that we can do or take that there's not some risk, but we still take it, the blood pressure pill, thinking and hoping it's going to lower our blood pressure. We take the diabetes medicine.
yes,
So same thing with cancer care. And we have a difficult time treating some of the different cancers because we just don't have enough Black people to know this
right.
is what will work on Black people because they're not a part of the clinical trials or the clinical studies. For
Yeah,
instance, triple negative breast cancer. I always talk about this one. There are many others, but triple negative breast cancer. It's akin to Black women. It's a very aggressive kind of breast cancer. And hands down, Black women are diagnosed with triple negative breast cancer more than any other ethnicity. We know that it's aggressive, but there were
mhm,
not a lot of Black women that were willing to participate in the clinical trials. So we have to treat Black women with triple negative with standard of care that came out of the trials that may
right.
not be reflective of them, if that
Yeah,
makes sense. That means
yeah.
they were not a part of
It's
the
enough
trial. So
information. Yeah,
we know that it'll work on other people because they were a part of the trial. So our
true.
hope is that it will work on you as well. So we're learning to know, that triple negative breast cancer, it does not have to be a death sentence anymore like it used to be for Black women. So there
Mhm.
are immunotherapies and different things that we can try That's what it is. That we
Yes.
can try to see how this affects your particular breast cancer. So we're learning, we're gaining. We do have some that are willing to participate, and
Mm-hmm.
we just need many, many more that will there.
Yes.
And many times, some of the trials are just as much as a questionnaire. You know, we enter you into a trial for questionnaire. When were you diagnosed? And we do a follow up about every 3 months. You know,
Mm-hmm.
things of that nature. But sometimes when we hear clinical trial, we just immediately
Yes.
um, turns us off.
Yes. Yes, it is. It is. And that goes across the board with everything.
Yeah,
And again, it's just because of the lack of education. And
yeah,
so educating the community on just how important it is that we are in those numbers, because we do need to know, how do we know what it's going to work? We need it to work on us too. We want to be at a number because we're at the higher levels of people that are affected and the higher levels of people that are being diagnosed. And so it will help to save lives, you know.
hmm
And so just so important.
it
So
is
important.
absolutely. That's my passion. So, you know, just to get the word out, to get the education, and not just breast cancer, but prostate cancer, colon cancer, you know, it's affecting us. It's hitting us younger and younger. I know it used to be screening for colon cancer used to be at 50. Well,
Mm-hmm.
now because people were getting colon cancer so much younger, now it's 45. So
Yes.
you can get your colonoscopies now at 45. You got genetic history, you know, if you're Black, African American. So you
Mm,
can get your colon screenings earlier than 50 now. You know,
yes.
that is now becoming the standard of care, not 50.
Yes.
So things of that nature. And it's like, well, why are so many people, so many young people being diagnosed with colon cancer? You know, we don't really know. We have an
Mm-hmm.
idea. We
Mm-hmm.
think that many times or oftentimes it's tied to um, could be genetic.
Yeah.
It also could be environmental.
Mm-hmm.
It could be the things that we ingest. And
Yes.
it happens over time. If you think about it, people that are young people, 30s, 40s, that are getting diagnosed with colon cancer, maybe they play baseball or football, you know, and our children are in so many different sports. And that, you know, what do? You pick them up from school, you eat fast food in the
Mm.
car, they get
Yeah.
dressed in the car, they do
Yes.
their homework in the car, and you're
Yes.
off to baseball practice, volleyball practice, whatever those practices are. And we're really not getting a good wholesome meal with dark green leafy vegetables,
That's right.
you know, limiting the fats and things like that. And so we're now seeing this years later, you
Mm-hmm.
know, that some of our choices, our dietary choices, are now affecting us in
Yes.
terms of colon cancer and lifestyle.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true. As somebody who spent a lot of time in the drive-through,
Yeah.
especially when my oldest is 30, she'll be 30 next month.
Right.
And I was, I'm going to work, I'm going to school, I'm doing the things I don't have time to cook. And
Right.
so, but a lot of people live that way, and you don't see it as, you're harming yourself anyway. You just see it as convenience,
You're right. Right. Right.
and so it is, even educating that much about it's okay to go out sometimes, but those meal planning makes a difference as well. Just something
Absolutely.
as
And we're
simple
all
as that.
guilty of it, you know.
Yeah,
And
something
then the
simple
way we
as that.
cook our meats, barbecue, chars, you know, we got
Mhm.
charcoals that are full of chemicals.
Yeah,
We light chemicals on fire, and then we put our meat on top of it. And
right.
those they're carcinogens, and they
Yeah,
go into the meat. Black people we don't think about that because we love our barbecue.
love our
But that could
barbecue.
be one of the most dangerous things that we can consume
Wow.
simply because of the way that we cook it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Literally eating poison.
Right.
Literally. Yeah. Wow. That is one of the things why I enjoy, talking to you and learning and just the different things, because it's so many layers in there. It's
So many.
so much information. And so it is what would you say to somebody who's just like feeling overwhelmed about the information? Like, where do I start with this? What do I do?
So you just start at the basic level. I mean, I'm overwhelmed with it. There's so much information. The thing is, get the information,
Yes.
ask questions. You have your doctors, your providers. There's always a health fair somewhere going on, something.
Mhm.
Get That's the main thing. You have to get the information. And then once you get the information, as you said, we've got to peel the layers back.
Yes.
And sometimes that's not pretty. We have to know. someone who's feeling overwhelmed, knowing what your family history is, knowing
Yes.
what your risks are, knowing what cancers might be in your family, down your in
Mhm.
your family line. Just not again, knowledge is power. And a
Yeah.
lot of times we don't want to know. We feel like if we don't know about it, it's not there. And that
Mhm.
is not the case. Yes, it's overwhelming. But
Yes.
again, get you a reputable source, get you someone that you trust. And it's like, well, I don't trust the doctors. Well, there's somebody. And that's
Yeah.
why it is so imperative that people who look like us, me, you, that we continue to be a part of the medical field because our people trust us. We
Yes.
trust people who look like
Yes.
us.
Yes.
Representation matters.
It
So
does.
I
It
work
does.
right now at UT Southwestern down in Oak Cliff in the
Mhm.
southern sector of Dallas, which is predominantly Hispanic and Black.
Mhm.
So when they come into our center and they see people who look like them,
Yeah.
whether it be Black or Hispanic, we have Hispanic nurses as well, they
Mhm.
feel more confident about the care that they're going to receive
Yes.
before they even know us. Because
Yes.
it's like, oh my God, someone looks like me, they can speak my language, they
Yeah.
know, and so that's how we gain the trust of those that we're entrusted to care for.
I love that. Some people are just oblivious to the fact, but it makes a tremendous difference.
It does.
It
It
makes a
makes a
tremendous
huge difference. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. I started a patient today um, with pancreatic cancer for very first treatment today,
Wow.
and I was just doing some education about what things they could expect from the
Mhm.
treatment, what possible side effects, just kind of give them some do's. And the first thing she said to me was about, am I going to be sick? Am I going to be nauseated all the time? I said, that is not our hope because people hear chemotherapy and they think, oh, honey, you're going to be sick as a dog. I said,
Yes. Yes.
chemotherapy
Yes.
has come such a long ways. You don't have to
Yes.
be sick.
Yes, it
I said,
has.
we're partnering together. If what we're giving you is not working, then we need to be giving you something else. There's 100 different other things that we can give you, but we have to know about it. And
Yes.
so at the end of her time today, it's like, are you going to be my nurse every time? I said, probably not. Oh my God. But I was like, but these other nurses are
Yes.
just as reputable and just as good as I am.
Yes.
Just rest assured you will be cared for. And when you come back in the same manner that you were today, how do I know that? Because I had a hand in training almost every one
Oh,
of
that's
those
right.
nurses. So I know that you're going to get amazing care here. So
Yes.
just
Yes.
people feeling confident,
Yes.
about what they're going to get.
Yes, that's beautiful because in a time of such a diagnosis, you do want, people that you can trust. And I've had several family members and I've been at the bedside and been, and going to the, treatments with them. And it is this thing where they prepare. I love great centers because the education that comes along, with the treatment regimen, but the preparation that goes into what happens today, I think is so important. The um, just the education, the layers, and I feel like it's very intentional, education and then preparation. They already, like, you guys know what is going to happen. Y'all have been doing this. It's so much research now that I feel like the family members that I have been with, everything is already laid out. The medication regimen, like you said, we know you might get nauseated. And so they give you the medicine on the front side. They don't wait for it to happen. They give you everything. And so you're right. It has come such a long way. And I feel like if you have to go through it, having a good team and someone, like you said, the nurses and the oncology nurses are amazing.
Mhm, mhm.
They are amazing. And so just a gift. I think it just takes a special person, to work in oncology and know that journey and then be there to ring that bell on the other side. You
Yes,
know,
yeah, absolutely,
treatment room.
absolutely,
And so how rewarding is that? Now,
extremely.
Miss Pat, I love you. You know I love you. And I'm watching Miss Pat. I'm watching and looking. So when Black Nurses Rock, it is community service. We have an annual event that we used to go to, and we nominate other nurses, right? It was different categories. And community nurse, I was like, this is Miss Pat right here. When I read community nurse, I was like, I have got to nominate Miss Pat for this because I just see you. Not only are you doing oncology, you do so many things in the community. And I know Girl Trek is one of them. Can you tell the people a little bit about Girl Trek and,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
and
So
what
Girl
it
Trek
is and
is
why
a
it's so important?
national and
Yeah.
international organization tailored and geared to Black women.
Mm-hmm.
It was founded by two friends who were just at a place in their life when they were in college. And one of them was kind of like, what can we do? What can we do to change the dynamics of Black women? It's said that Black women have a lifespan 10 years less than
Wow.
other women, 10 years, just by having comorbidities, high blood pressure, diabetes, obesity, things that are preventable. And
Yes.
so these two friends, Vanessa and Morgan, and so
Mm-hmm.
they got together and it's like, what can we do? And they just like, well, walking. Then they did the research and, then they started walking together and it was trial and error the way they got things going. And then they just started encouraging people to just take a walk for 30 minutes a day. So the premise of this organization is to get Black women out of our comfort zones,
Yes.
walking in your own community, healing yourself, inspiring your daughters, and taking back your community. So
Mm,
it was to walk in your own community, lace up your tennis shoes and walk for 30 minutes. 30 minutes, 5 days a week, 5 out of 7 days, cuts our risk for preventable diseases in half.
and
That
how
is amazing to
that's
me. That
amazing.
just by
Yeah.
walking a moderate walk 30 minutes, 5 times a week, cuts my preventable diseases in half, high blood pressure, diabetes, those things, cuts the risk for those things in half. That's amazing.
That's
So they
amazing.
started doing, so it's like walk in your own community, walk in your neighborhood, get your mothers, your sisters, your daughters to do it as well. And to
Yeah.
just, as you walk, encourage other women to do it with you. And,
Yeah.
it's not a fitness group at all. It is a health and wellness organization, health and wellness. It's about mental health.
Yes.
We found that if you get out in nature and walk, those that have anxiety and depression, your moods got better just
Yes.
by getting vitamin D, just by
Yes.
letting the sun hit. Y'all, it's amazing the
Amazing.
properties that we gain just by getting out in nature.
Yeah.
Maybe you can't walk. We say, well, maybe you can't do 30 minutes. Start where you are. Do 15.
Mm-hmm.
If you walk 15 minutes one way and 15 minutes back, that's 30 minutes.
There
But
you
we
go.
say no sister left behind. So we will meet you where you are and we will wait on you. So it's like, yeah, we got to do better. And so what we've learned in Girl Trek Tyler, Rose City, I have Girl Trek everywhere.
Yes.
In Atlanta and
Yes.
DC,
Yes.
Tennessee, wherever I am. If I know I'm going somewhere, I'll reach out to a Girl Trek organization, say, hey, I'm going to be in your city. I want to
Mm-hmm.
walk with you guys.
Yeah.
So that's the way we tell the story. We say that every woman is worthy of
Yeah.
living a long life. And so many times in life, we forget about the workers, the women who work at Walmart,
Yes.
those that working in the drive-through,
Mm-hmm.
those that are janitors. So
Yeah.
we leave them out. We tend to talk to people who are professionals, who are nurses. And it's like, no,
Everybody.
every woman deserves to hear about Girl Trek.
Yeah.
Every woman deserves to be their best selves. And
Yeah.
how will they know about it unless we tell them? So that's how the mission is accomplished. We have over 1 million members,
Yeah.
1+ million
Yeah.
women who have taken the pledge. And I'm going to plug it. It's www.girltrek.org. You
Yeah.
go there and you take a pledge. It doesn't cost a thing. And you're pledging to yourself. You're
Yeah.
saying, hey, self, I'm worth it. I'm worth 30 minutes a day. Because one thing I do know about Black women,
Mm-hmm.
we give and give and give. We give to our husbands, we give to our children, we give
Yes.
to our professions, we
Yeah.
give to our organizations, Divine Nine, we give to the community. We give so much of ourselves, and
Mm-hmm.
then we have nothing left for ourselves. When it comes to us, we're tired. We're
With
too tired to do anything because we've given everything out. Well, Girl
that.
Trek says no more. They say put yourself first. because there's no way, mama,
Yes.
nurse,
Yes.
community worker, that you can serve from an empty cup.
That's
You
right.
got to fill your cup up first. And then once you fill your cup up, it will start to overflow.
Yeah.
And so the people that are around you will be able to glean from your overflow
That's
and
right.
not empty you out. So that's the whole premise of Girl Trek in a nutshell. It's more than that. I could go on and on, but that's the main thing: reclaiming our health,
Yes.
inspiring our daughters, and taking back our communities is our mantra for this year. We just kicked off our season. It goes from March to November every year. So we say walk by yourself, do your solo treks during the week, and then find a meetup group with some other women. I have met so many women just by meeting up with them. Just say, hey, I'm a girl trekker. You want to meet up? I've met so many.
Yeah.
So you're worth it, ladies. Whoever's listening to this podcast, I encourage you to join Girl Trek. Get in there, do your research on it. And just like, oh my God, I do want to be a part of this sisterhood. It's amazing. And we know that it's benefits because we've had women in our group that have come off of their diabetes medicine, where
Mm.
they were on 4 blood pressure medicines. They're now down to 2. And
Yeah.
this is just by walking.
Yes.
Walking, this just walking by itself. Then once you start seeing, you know what, I'm not here losing weight, but it's a byproduct. Weight loss is a byproduct of discipline
Yes.
just by walking. So it does make a difference. So you're worth it, women. Put yourself first.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And the energy that the Girl Trek family has is just it's unmatched, honey. It's unmatched.
Unmatched.
I love it.
Yes, yes.
I love it.
And we have organizations, like I said, all over the world. Any city that you go to, you can find a Girl Trek organization. And we have got to tell women about it. And
Yeah.
we say this, and then this is the last thing I'll say about that, because I could go on with oncology and Girl Trek all night. We will go and do things for ourselves, Black women. We do. We'll go get our nails done and we'll go do a spa day. But
Hmm.
then we feel guilty about it. It's like, oh, I
Hmm.
shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
We say, do it unapologetically.
That part.
Don't apologize for saving your own life. Because
Yeah.
basically, that is what we're doing. We're saving our own lives. When we put our feet to the pavement, and if we save, ain't nobody else coming for us. We got to save ourselves.
Yes. Yes. I love it. I love it. Oh my goodness. I love it. And the other thing about talking about just the weight loss, walking is the number one way for sustained weight loss. You can Google that.
Yeah, Google it, ladies.
Look, you can Google that, boo. Miss Pat, I know that you have been working all day. I am so grateful that you stayed up to come and talk with me and spend some time with us. Reflections Choosing Me Guilt Free. Y'all know that's the name of the podcast, honey. So you know how I feel about it. You best be choosing you, boo.
Choose yourself.
Yes, you have to. You have to. Oh, Miss Pat, my last question is the name of this series is called Lessons and Blessings. And as we are celebrating Women's History Month, I want you to tell the ladies a lesson that you have learned along your journey.
Wow, that is an amazing question. And as I was doing some research on your podcast, I started thinking about lessons and blessings. And
Yes.
there are so many to think about. But the one thing, this is one that sticks out in my mind. So I'm from Tyler, Texas. Been married for 35 years, and my husband is in Tyler, but I work in Dallas. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm here in Dallas 4 days a week. And so when I decided to do this 2.5, almost 3 years ago, in agreement with my husband
Mm-hmm.
that I would come here. So usually I'm in Dallas more than I'm home. So
Wow.
I have a first cousin who is like my sister who lives here in the Dallas area.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, I approached her and I said, "Hey, I'm going to be in Dallas and I'm going to need some place to stay." She was living in an apartment, 2 bedroom, 2 bath, and I'd like to, give you some money and maybe stay with you. And she was
Mm-hmm.
very receptive to it, loved it, because she was tired of being by herself. Her children were grown and had their own lives. And so we decided to do that. And that was to be for a year. We were going to do that for a year until I decided if I was going to take this full time or how I was going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And the year turned into a year and a half. The year and a half turned into almost 2 years, but something changed in our relationship.
Mhm.
Lessons and blessings. So something changed within our relationship over that year and a half. And it's not as strong today as it was 2 years ago when I moved in with her. It's a lesson and a blessing. It was a blessing that she was there for me
Yes.
to be able to, because if I was going to get a house in Dallas, that's going to be $2,000 a month.
Sure.
And so she was a blessing to me, and as well as I was a blessing to her at that time. But here's
Mhm.
the lesson behind it. The lesson is don't overstay your welcome and don't get too comfortable in situations.
Mm.
I got comfortable in situations with her and I overstayed my welcome and almost ruined a relationship that the two of us have together. And
Yeah.
so when you get comfortable, you start to say things rather than listen. And I'm a talker and I'm a fixer and I want to
Mhm.
fix things. And she didn't want things to be fixed. She just wanted me to listen. And
Yeah.
so many times when I should have been listening, I was talking. So the blessing and so again, that was a blessing that I was able to be with her. But the
Yeah.
lesson is don't overstay your welcome and know your place.
That's good. That's really, really good.
Yeah.
'Cause again, even people that love you,
Yeah.
even they love you, but it is, you said 1 year. Right?
Right. Right. Right.
You said 1 year, and so that's my expectation is 1 year, and so, yeah, that is a great lesson. That is a great,
Yep. Blessings, a
yeah,
blessing and a lesson. So
yes.
don't overstay your welcome and
You're
just,
welcome.
know what your role is. Don't get too comfortable where
That's
you
good.
are.
That's good. That's good. Yes, the comfort zone, we do not belong there, ladies. We do not belong in the comfort zone. No box is not big enough for you, boo. Get up out of there. Miss Pat, thank you again. I appreciate you so much. I
And
love
I'm
you.
going to just say this. And so here's the blessing of this, you calling me. I did speak the other night at a gala at another Black Nurse Society gala just a couple of weeks ago. So my
Mhm.
thing this year I'm thinking about retiring in the next 5 years. And so I was asking the Lord, what is going to be my next move? And I believe that the Lord already knows what your next move is in life. And
Yeah.
so I've always enjoyed talking before people. And the Lord just kept saying, TED Talk, TED
Yes.
Talk. And
Yes.
so it's like, I believe that the Lord is going to give me a platform to be able to reach a
Yes.
vulnerable population, to be able
Yes.
to reach women everywhere that
Yes.
need to hear about Girl Trek, that need to hear about cancer prevention and all those things. And then you called and asked me on, I said, Lord, I already see the
Yeah.
vision, the blessing. I
Yeah.
already see it. I said
Yeah.
it's going to reach the masses, and I believe that. So I believe that in my retirement, I will be doing some sort of paid speaking engagements.
I
It's
love it.
coming.
I
So
love
I'm
it.
standing on that. So you're the gateway for that. You're the catalyst.
Oh, look at God. I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. And you said TED Talk. It's on my checklist. It is on my checklist. Yes, Miss Pat. Yes. And you're an amazing speaker.
Thank you.
You are an amazing speaker and you're such a wealth of knowledge. And so there's so many ways and so many different avenues that you can take that. And so I would just encourage you to just like hone in on what do you want to do? You know what I mean? What do you want to focus on?
Right.
But oh, you can, yes, 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 and yes. And you don't have to wait till retirement to start, to start picking little things and getting your feet wet.
Yeah.
So by the
I'm
time you
building my
retire, you
following
feel
now. Yeah.
comfortable. Yes. Yes, I definitely see that. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, look, and that's an exclusive. Y'all heard it here first, so we're gonna be waiting to see
There
it.
you go.
See on them stages. I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, Miss Pat, again, thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, and you're amazing. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right. Good
you.
night.
Good night. Good night. Good night. Well, family, I told y'all. Look, I told y'all. I know amazing, amazing, amazing women. Oh, I just love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. The first time I saw Miss Pat, I was like, honey, we didn't even get into the style and the dress and this chick, just her shoes. I'd be like, well, let me look at what shoes Miss Pat got on today. I have never been a shoe person that I, buy different shoes, but I've always admired people that have on those, oh, this is anything, just cute, fancy to Miss Pat. They got some shoes for your baby. She's turning some heads. Do you hear me? Always amazing, beautiful, beautiful spirit. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. That is one thing that I have learned, with this series. It does not matter how long it has been since I've talked to any of these women. It has not mattered, um, you know, any of it. When I called and asked, the willingness of people. Miss Pat said, I've worked 12-hour days, but can we push it to nighttime? Yes, ma'am. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for that. But just watching and hearing everybody's story and their journey and what has inspired them, I pray and hope that it has inspired you, to think about what it is that you want to do. Are you at a retirement age and you need to think about what you need to be doing or what you want to do? What does God have next for you to do? Because I promise you, if you're seeing this, it is not an accident, honey. God is not a just because God. Yes. And the other thing that I know for sure is that 9 to 5, that thing that you get paid for, that clocking in and clocking out, that's not your purpose. That's not your purpose. God has given you a gift. And so, what gift has He given you? What is it that you dream about? Where is it that you see yourself? I saw myself on stages. I see myself on, in podcasts with this vast, just it's so dark that I can't even see how many people it is. That's how many people are in the room, right? In the stadium. That's what I've seen. I've seen visions. What do you see? What do you see? And if you're not, because sometimes I've been in a space where I was so sad, right? That I didn't see anything. All I saw was darkness. And I promise you, in those spaces, just keep walking, keep praying, keep some positive in your ear, and know that God is still with you. He's still leading you. The little light that's inside is shining, and you might feel like it's flickering, but it's still there. Your guardian angels are guiding you, right? Be intentional and pay attention to the little messages. Listen to the whispers, right? Be obedient to the spirit within. And I promise you, it'll make all the difference in the world in your journey. I don't know who needed that. I don't know who needed that, but I just felt so inclined to say, keep walking, keep going, keep dreaming, right? Until you stop, until God stops you. And so I'm saying until you stop, but until God stops you. It's not over. As long as you're on this side of heaven, it's not over. So yes, use every last gift, every last dream, everything. Use it, right? That's what I'm planning to do. Y'all gonna be like, what else she doing? What's she doing next? What's she doing? That's why I'm gonna be with it. Yes, because God has given us multiple gifts, most of us, right? Have multiple things that we can do. I'm gonna stop because I could go on about that, but I'm gonna stop. So, all month long, honey, all month long, I'm blessed to bring you amazing women that have inspired and empowered my life. And I pray that their story and their journey, something is said that inspires and empowers you as well. Yeah, to get about your Father's business. That's what we're doing. We're getting about our Father's business. Yes, that's it. That's it. I'm not going to preach. I'm not a preacher. I'm not going to preach. That's it. Get about your Father's business, honey. Yes. Well, it's what your girl doing. I aspire to inspire until I expire. That's what I'm doing, boo. What you doing? Yeah. All right. Get about your business. Get out that box. You don't belong there. See y'all tomorrow.